Good day once more. This is section 2 of that topic in GST 113, Citizenship in Nigeria, chapter 7 to be precise, written by Owolabi Ademola Benjamin and Oyewale Peter Oluwaseun. I have taken time to explain the origin of citizenship. We shall continue by explaining it through the Nigerian context. We shall continue by explaining it through the Nigerian context. In the Nigerian context, when we talk about citizenship, remember, let's take note that the Nigerian context is the modern era. Is the modern era. It's not the period of Sparta, Athens, or even Rome. It's the modern era. But in the case of Nigeria, we should also remember that Nigeria was colonized by the British, and the process, the way in which we see citizenship, we see it from an indigenousship. You must be indigenous to a locality. For instance, you cannot claim to be a citizen of Nigeria if your locality is based in places like Cameroon, Chad, Niger, or even Morocco. If your locality cannot be found on the Nigerian territory, which means you are not indigenous to that any territory in Nigeria, you cannot claim to be a citizen. Although it will be explained further if you can still be a citizen if your locality, or you are not an indigene of a locality in which we in Nigeria. Ifidon Adebayo Eyimeka looked at citizenship as operative at the homeland level. What does it simply mean? He's still talking about your native land becoming your justification of becoming a citizen of Nigeria. To be a citizen of a place therefore means that the ethnic group can point to a territory as native land. If your ethnic group, your community, does not have a territory considered as theirs in the Nigerian territory, you are not a citizen of Nigeria. If your ethnic group, once more, belongs to places like Cameroon, Chad, wherever, you are considered not a citizen of Nigeria. However, explaining who is a citizen of a particular area could be a difficult task, especially in a country like Nigeria, with over 250 communities, and particularly in the light of mass movement. Mass movement. From our studies earlier, in one of those chapters, we could understand that Nigeria has over 250 cultures and 250 cultures placed in places, very different places, territories within the Nigerian context, and yet makes it difficult that you will be considered a citizen. People over time and across cultures and space, yet the relative association of people with different areas, a product of settlement and the seeming dominance of their cultures, or perhaps the outcome of the ability to conquer and occupy a relatively virgin area, has resulted in situations whereby some came to identify themselves as the indigene of a particular place. When we are talking about 250, the, the migration, the fluid nature created by migration could create a complexity when we are talking about citizenship. By the time some community takes over another land, They may claim, oh, that land belongs to us, and as such, we are part of citizens of the nation called Nigeria. Citizenship in this and similar society is defined not only in terms of the obligation or responsibility alone, but also in terms of rights and privileges. Every citizen has an identity that links him or her with his or her nationality. For instance, a citizen of Nigeria has an identity that is basically Nigerian. He enjoys fundamental human rights and performs his obligations to the country. A citizen of Nigeria has an identity that is clearly identified as Nigerian. And that identity has to do with his indigenship. Where does he belong? Whose territory does his forebears live? Where can he point to that he came from? These are things that makes him unique to the nation called Nigeria. Although in Nigeria, citizens have some rights and privileges to enjoy, but the Constitution of Nigeria does not automatically confer the rights that should be enjoyed under employment, tenure of appointment, property ownership, and so on. We have rights, we have privileges, but those rights are not conferred upon any individual in Nigeria when we talk about things like employment, tenure of appointment, property ownership, and so on. Irrespective of the way or means a person becomes a Nigerian citizen, such a person stands to enjoy the fundamental human rights as it is stipulated in the Constitution of the 1999 Constitution, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Constitution has given you a fundamental human right, and it is that right you will enjoy as a citizen of Nigeria. What are the processes of becoming Nigerian citizens? What are the processes of becoming Nigerian citizens? There are many processes by which an individual can become a citizen of Nigeria. A citizen is a person who is recognized by a country as being a citizen because such a person possesses some characteristics which entitle him or her to some rights in that country. Under the 1999 Constitution, one may be a citizen of Nigeria, for instance, by birth, registration, or naturalization. So these are the ways in which you can become a citizen of Nigeria. You can become a citizen of Nigeria by birth, which means one or two of your parents, especially since we practice patriarchy. If one or your father is from one place that is indigenous to Nigeria, you are considered a citizen. There are three most common and recognized ways of becoming a citizen in Nigeria. In the Nigerian context, a citizen by birth in Nigeria is a person who was born in Nigeria before and or after independence. So you must, if you are born in Nigeria before 1960 or after independence, you are considered a citizen, and whose parents or grandparents belong to a community indigenous. Take that very seriously. Your parents, your grandparents must belong to a community indigenous to Nigeria, or any person born outside Nigeria, either of whose parents is a citizen of Nigeria. You can be given birth to in Britain or in America or wherever, or even in France. So long those people who gave birth to you are citizens of Nigeria, you are also considered a citizen of Nigeria. These categories of citizens are referred to as indigenous. You could point to a place and say, this is the community I came from, and that place has its territory within the context of Nigeria, then you are a citizen of Nigeria. One can also become a citizen of Nigeria by registration. This type of citizenship is not authentic. The president may register any person as a citizen of Nigeria, and if he is satisfied that such a person is of good character, he has shown a clear intention to be domiciled in Nigeria, and has taken the oath of allegiance, and has promised to be a good representative of the country. Such persons are usually born outside Nigeria and are full of age, capacity to take decisions on their own. This type of citizenship is optional. This one, you apply for it. You, in that application, you ask to be, or you want the government of the country to see you, to register you as a citizen of the nation. And that has already been said, is optional. It is a decision made by an adult. And you take a decision. You could be a white man, you could be a Lebanese from anywhere, but you take that decision and ask the government that I've been living in your nation for a long time. I want to be a citizen of Nigeria. And the government, once it obliges you, hence you are considered a citizen of the country. Another aspect is citizenship by naturalization. This type of citizenship is open to an individual. Any person may also apply to the President of Nigeria to be granted a certificate of naturalization. But before such individuals could be granted such a request, he or she must satisfy some certain conditions, which include: he must be a person of full age, he must be of good character, he must show clear intention to be domiciled in Nigeria. He must, in the opinion of the governor, where he plans to reside, to be acceptable to the local community and has assimilated the way of life of Nigerians. These and many more is expected that the person must have gone through. And when you are applying, you want to be citizenship by naturalization. Citizenship could also be acquired through marriage. For example, a male Nigerian who got married to a foreigner, such a female foreigner automatically becomes a Nigerian through marriage. Once you are married to a Nigerian, you are considered a Nigerian through marriage. So hence, you are a citizen of Nigeria. However, citizenship by birth is the most recognized, because persons who are citizens by registration or by naturalization may forfeit their Nigerian citizenship if they retain or acquire the citizenship of another country. Also, but we should take note of that last sentence. I'm reading again. However, citizenship by birth is the most recognized, because persons who are citizens by registration or by naturalization may forfeit their Nigerian citizenship if they retain or acquire the citizenship of another country. So you could forfeit, if it's by registration and naturalization, you can forfeit your citizenship. If you feel you are no more interested in becoming a citizen of Nigeria. But by birth, that can't be done, because you are of an indigenous community within the Nigerian territory and you are considered a citizen of Nigeria. Also, somebody who is not a citizen by birth and is full of capacity may renounce his or her Nigerian citizenship by declaration, and the president shall cause the declaration to be registered. Such declaration will, however, not be accepted if made during any war in which Nigeria is physically involved or is contrary to the public policy in the opinion of the president. If Nigeria is at war, you cannot say you don't want to become a citizen of Nigeria. So therefore, I am no more, because it's a clause through the constitution that the president, in his opinion, shall not grant such thing. Every Nigerians are responsible and obligated when it comes to periods such as war. Any citizen of Nigeria by registration or naturalization may be deprived of his or her citizenship if within 7 years after becoming a citizen, such a person is sentenced to imprisonment of not less than 3 years, or if he has conducted himself in a way that shows disloyalty towards the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Take note of that. Citizenship of registration or naturalization may be deprived. Citizens of registration or naturalization may be deprived if, when they have given you citizenship, for one reason or the